Okay, so these are like the ideas for our film trailer. We're going to go through the general plots, the setting, mise en scène, camera, lighting, that sort of stuff. So we've got two plot ideas. The first one is a revenge plot. So we're going to have it's the end of year, they've just finished school, a group of friends driving to go and camp in some woods. However, on the way there, they're going to run somebody over, not actually run someone over, but they'd run someone over, think that they're dead, and then somehow dispose of the body by probably putting it in a lake or something. And then when they get to the campsite, where they're staying, it'll be alright on the first night, there'll just be subtle things that happen, like twig snaps, or they can see shadows, or rustling outside their tents. But then on the second night, this person that they've supposedly killed will then come and sort of terrorise them. So it's you don't really know if it's actually somebody who's dead and has now come back as some sort of ghost or something, or if it's he didn't actually die and he's coming back for revenge. So it's sort of an ambiguous plot. The second idea is stalker. It's the same sort of thing at the start. It's the end of year, they're going away, but when they pull up, they see somebody on the side of the road and they pull up, they see if he's alright, he just doesn't answer them, and then typical teenagers say something along the lines of whatever, some swear word probably. And then when they go to their campsite, they actually find out that this person's been stalking them, and then that's how the horror comes, because it's a person attacking them.
These are some examples of trailers that we looked at. The Hitcher is similar to our second plot idea of the stalker, and I Know What You Did Last Summer is similar to our first idea. When watching the trailers, think about what you think is effective and what works well. Are there parts of it that you think would be good for us to consider putting in our own ideas? In all three trailers, the killer is shown, but do you think this is effective, or would you prefer it to be more ambiguous?
This is the setting, number one, that we think we might shoot our film in. It's privately owned, so there will be no members of the public to walk across when we're shooting. It's mostly forest. Here's a field where we'll probably do the camping, and there's a lake there where we'll dump the body of the dead person. This is the second one. Up here is a large field, and this is all forest here, and used to be a train line going through it, so there's a massive drop of about 20 feet right down the middle of it, so you can get high camera shots and stuff like that. But it is not privately owned, so members of the public could walk across, and there's street lamps and stuff like that, so it won't give the feeling that there's isolation and stuff. So yeah, we think that it should be shot at dark at night. This will make it more isolated and scary, with night vision cameras being used. When the car is driving to the campsite though, this would be because it would be like a happy party mood in the car because they've all just finished school or whatever. This would be in light, and then it will show the contrast between the light and the dark, and like they're happy, and then something happens and it goes to the night, and we'll get terrorised and stuff. We thought we could use a time-lapse effect, because it's over going to be over 2 nights. On the first night, going towards the second night, we might use a time-lapse like this. So something like that, some sort of camera effect to show the time being passed. Right, makeup. We are going to make the stalker, or the man who hit the car, we're going to make him seem unhuman. So obviously add horror and stuff to the night. So yeah, one of these two we were thinking something that's realistic that we could do. So things like House of Wax, where all of his face was melted and it's unrealistic and we won't be able to do it. Props. These are the props we think that we'll need. We'll have beer, so they'll be drunk and then they'll be under the influence, so they won't make decisions that they think are good because they'll be intoxicated. We've got a car. We'll get some tents, beer, chairs and things like that just to make it more cozy and more realistic. We're thinking of having 2 cameras, so one for the boys' tent and one for the girls' tent, so we can record each of them. And the stalker will have like a weapon that he'll attack us with, but we're not sure what that'll be yet. We need to make it realistic to the setting. Obviously, there won't be like a cricket bat or a baseball bat just lying around, so we need something like a plank of wood or something that we'll find. It's hard to plan that because we won't know until then. Okay, and the characters we've decided will be the stereotypical characters from a horror film. Their costumes will need to be very emphasised, so they're not, so you know which is which. You don't get confused with them, the characters.
I'm going to run through the stereotypical characters. First one, you have a promiscuous girl, sexual, flirtatious nature. She generally attracts male attention, is a bit dumb. And then, yeah, she's a bit annoying. The audience usually want her to die, so she usually dies off first in the horror films. That's an example of stereotyping films. There's always a jock. She's male, masculine, non-believer, usually tries to help everyone out, but he usually ends up dying trying to save people. That's his sort of dress. The Virgin usually is out of all of the ones to survive, if any, throughout the film, and due to her purity she always tries to fight back against the entity or the evil character, and the audience seem to get on her side and you can see things from her view. And then there's always a nerd character or someone on drugs, but they're never normally in the same sort of film. And 9 times out of 10 this person figures out the plot before everybody else, but nobody listens to them because they're sort of character where they don't get listened to in their social groups.
So when we were going through the stereotypical characters, we looked at different characters from different films and sort of from our own wardrobe to put together some sort of ideas for different costumes. So obviously this would be the promiscuous girl, so you've got like the more revealing tops, shorts and skirts, it's like to show off the femininity of her. And you've got the jock, like obviously quite male, masculine clothes, darker colours, that sort of thing. Stonewall nerd normally sort of have more bland clothes, like they fade into the background, they're not really listened to in their social group. So you've got clothes that represent that, like dark trousers and like plain t-shirts. Then you've got the Virgin, which normally cardigans and t-shirts put together, and like long trousers. Normally not, like obviously to show femininity, but not to confuse with like a more promiscuous nature of the other character that's in there. So now we're going to do the feedback point.